Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Commander's Crypt. We're back with you with another exciting adventure. We are proudly able to say that we have partnered up with two local game stores, Go For Games and Plus One Gaming here in the New Orleans area. So if you need some cards, go check out Go For Games website or plusonegaming.com with Plus One Gaming and see if they have what you're looking for. They will pull them up. They've got good prices and they'll ship them to you. So yeah, that's that. So we are going to open up some precons today. There they are. The battle for Baldur's Gate. There's a couple of those precons that I'm super excited about. So what we're going to do is we're going to open one up each day and show you, just in case you guys can't get out there and get them for yourself right away. And then we'll, go through each one and talk about it. Unlike other Commander channels that just, look up the deck list before they come out and then talk about them, we actually have the decks and the cards, and we're going to go through the experience of opening them up and talking and discussing all the cards. So I also bought a pack today. I'm hoping to get that Copper Dragon today, so we'll see what we get here. We'll open up this pack. I love opening packs and boxes, and then we will get on to it. Let's see what we got here today. I'll just go to the rares here. Got a Mazzy True's Word Paladin. Looks like an etched foil. And got a Lurking Green Dragon as the other foil. Then we got another rare, Wizards of Thay. And we also got another rare. We got a Bane, Lord of Darkness. Man, what else did we get? Okay, all right. I'm okay with that pack. I'm happy with that. So I was hoping to get that Ancient Copper Dragon because I think it's an awesome card, but I don't know if I want to pay $50 for it yet. So I was hoping upon hope that I would pull one today, getting a couple of packs. So, Wizards of Thay. So 3/3 human wizard myriad. Whenever this creature attacks for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token as a copy of this creature that's tapped and attacking. So that's cool. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost one less to cast. That's awesome. Then you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Wow, that is strong. I'm happy about that. Let's see what else we got. Mazzy, True Sword Paladin, Naya, and one Halfling Knight, 3/4. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks one of your opponents, it gets +2/0, gains trample till end of turn. Whenever an aura you control is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, exile till end of next turn, you may cast that card. That seems pretty good. And then Bane, Lord of Darkness, legendary creature, God, Esper, and 1. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, Bane, Lord of Darkness, has indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, target opponent may have you draw a card. If they don't, you may put a creature card with equal or lesser toughness from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, all right. I'm liking that Wizards of Thay. That's going to go right into my Painter deck and Wello the Painter deck. So yeah, here it is. Here's my box. We're going to open it up and we're going to see what we got. I know the commander that I'm most excited about getting, and we're going to do that today. And that is going to be this guy right there, Mind Flayarrs. So this is one of the decks I'm most excited about. So we're going to open this up today and discuss it. Captain N'ghathrod, legendary creature, horror pirate. Whenever a horror you control deals combat damage to a player, That player mills that many cards. At the beginning of your end step, choose target artifact or creature card in an opponent's graveyard that was put there from the library this turn. Put it on the battlefield under your control. I like this guy. I think Horror Tribal is one that has been sorely, has not gotten any love whatsoever. So this ought to be interesting. I hope that Wizards of the Coast put a lot of horrors in here. So it says includes collector booster sample pack plus 2 legendary traditional foils. Okay, so we're going to open this up and get right to it. So what's going to happen is for the next 4 days, I'm going to put out a video on each one of these precons, and then you guys get to watch me open them and decide whether you want, which one you want for your own play style. Captain N'ghathrod reminds me of Davy Jones from the Jack Sparrow Disney movies here. I love this picture, so cool. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got a box within a box, and let's see how we do with the sample pack. Wouldn't it be nice if that copper dragon was in here? Gosh, that would be so nice. So we're gonna put him there and close in on the shot there. And let's see what we got in the sample pack. I'm hoping, man, is this thing childproof? Sheesh. All right. So, looks like we got an Intellect Devourer. And that's a horror, so that'll work well in our new precon we just got. 1 black, 3 colorless, Devour Intellect. When Intellect Devourer enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hand until Intellect Devourer leaves the battlefield. Body Thief. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled with Intellect Devourer. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's pretty strong. Okay, and what's the Decanter of Endless Water? You have no maximum mana size. Add 1 mana of any color. I think that's all right. Foil. A mana rock. Okay. Like a thought vessel, but at least it gives you different colors. Okay, so without further ado, we will get into it. All right. I like the last Grixis commanders that Wizard of the Coast put out, and Well of the Painter is one of my favorite decks. And even before that, they put out Wilhelt the Rot Cleaver. I thought that was a very strong deck. It is a strong deck. I just played it today and got beat by it, and it was the precon. It wasn't even souped up yet. So here we got the Captain N'ghathrod here. So let's see what else we got. Zelix Sanity Flayer. Okay. Also another horror. 1 blue, 2 colorless. It's a mythic. Hive Mind. Whenever a player mills 1 or more creature cards, you create a 1/1 black horror creature token. Wow, I think that works really well with the commander there. Very nice. 1, tap it, target player mills 3 cards, choose a background. Wow. Okay. Next we've got Haunted 1, background, mythic as well. Commander creatures you own have, whenever this creature becomes tapped, it and other creatures you control that share a creature type with it each get +2/0 and gain Undying until end of turn. When the creature with Undying dies, if it had no 1/1 +1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh, wow. That would work very well in this deck. Next, we're going to have the Mana Rocks, the Arcane Signet, Mind Stone. You can sacrifice it to draw a card. Command Tower. Please don't tell me they got all the lands up in front. Fact or Fiction. Very strong card. Very strong in Will of the Painter. I just casted a Fact or Fiction for 10. I got to draw 10 cards and make some piles. Dothy Horror, cool. One of my favorite old school cards. It has shadow and it can't be blocked by white creatures. So this thing's going to be able to attack every turn and not be blocked. And you're going to be able to use your commander's ability, milling that many cards. Yeah, so they would mill 2 cards every time this thing connects. Yeah, and then you could take an artifact or creature card and put it under the battlefield under your control. Very strong. So far, this is my favorite deck. Dusk Mangler, he's a horror. 2 black, 5 colorless as an additional cost to cast this spell. Sacrifice a creature, discard a card, or pay 4 life. When the Dusk Mangler enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. Okay. All right. I like that. We're going to be playing these. So what's going to happen is the next 4 days, we're going to release videos of me opening all of these precons. And then we're going to battle it out. We're not going to soup them up or anything. We're just going to play them and then discuss them and see and talk about which ones we thought were the best. Feed the Swarm. One of the best cards to come in black in a long time. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's mana value. That is just amazing for black. Phyrexian Rager, 1 black, 2 colorless, 2/2. When the Rager enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. He is also a horror. Plague Spitter. Phyrexian Horror, 1 black, 2 colorless. At the beginning of your end step, Plague Spitter deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. When Plague Spitter dies, Plague Spitter deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. He is also a horror. I'm liking the horror tribal here, and this is one of my favorite cards right here. This guy is strong. Ravenous Chupacabra. I was talking about this the other day. You know, you put this in an unlicensed limousine, and you can bounce this thing back to your hand over and over again. You put an unlicensed limousine in here, crew it, and it bounces that creature that crews it back to your hand. So this guy is super duper awesome, and he is a horror. When he enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Like I said, if you've got a way to do this every turn, you can target the biggest, worst problematic creatures on the board and kill them every turn. Next, we've got Siphon Mind. Oldie buddy goodie, 1 black, 3 colorless. Each player discards a card. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. Very strong. Drown in the Lock, 1 black, 1 blue. Choose 1. Counter target spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. That could be good. And this deck does mill people's stuff. So this is really a 2 mana counter spell. Or destroy target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. This is an amazing card. It's basically a 2 CMC counter spell, which is the strong. It counters anything. And you're in a mill deck, so they're going to have a lot of stuff in their graveyard between them playing things and getting milled. But then also, it's destroy target creature. It's not black or artifact. It's destroy anything. Very, very good card. Next, we've got Extract from Darkness. 1 black, 1 blue, 3 colorless. Each miller plays 2 cards. Each player mills 2 cards, then you put a creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Wow. Wow. I like that. That's strong. You know, especially the bigger the pod that you're in, you know. Like I said, here in New Orleans, we play regularly 5 to 7 guys. That's 14 cards that gets put into the graveyard. And then it says you put a creature card from the graveyard onto the battlefield under control. It doesn't even have to be one of the ones that was milled. So if you see something in someone else's graveyard that you like, you just play this, you mill them, make sure that the milled cards aren't better than what you were already targeting, and then put that creature under your control. Very strong. Dimir Key Rune, add 1 blue or black and 1 black, Dimir Key Rune becomes a 2/2 blue and black horror artifact creature till end of turn. It can't be blocked this turn. Wow. Wow, very nice. Very nice. I'm liking this deck. I can't wait to play it. Dimir Signet, Everflowing Chalice, Herald's Horn, very good in a tribal deck. I have one of these in my Angel deck because white is notorious for not being able to draw cards, which they've actually kind of fixed the last couple of sets that they put out. They've put out all kinds of white cards that allow you to draw cards. But anyway, Herald's Horn, when it comes to play, you choose a creature type. You're going to say horrors, of course. And creature spells you cast as a chosen type cost 1 less to cast. And during your beginning of your upkeep, you look at the top card of your library. If it's a horror, you get to put it in your hand. So you get to draw 2 cards that turn. Very, very strong card. Lightning Greaves, and you know, just about every commander deck needs those. Mind Crank, whenever an opponent loses life, that player mills that many cards. Very awesome in this deck. Soul Ring, Talisman of Dominance to get blue or black, do 1 damage to yourself. Thought Vessel, you have no maximum hand size. Tap to add a colorless. Ash Barrens, basic land cycling. Dimir Aqueduct, Myriad Landscape. Path of Ancestry. Port of Carfell, enters the battlefield tapped. And add blue, 2 black, 1 blue, 3 colorless. Sack it. Mill 4 cards, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That's very strong. Aboleth Spawn, Fish Horror, 1 blue, 2 colorless, Flash, Ward 2. Probing Telepathy, whenever a creature entering the battlefield under an opponent's control causes a triggered ability of that creature to trigger, you may copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. Wow. Wow. I like that. I like that a lot. He's also a horror. I love it. Endless Evil, 1 blue, 2 colorless. Enchant creature you control at the beginning of your upkeep. Create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature, except the token is 1/1. When enchanted creature dies, if that creature was a horror, return Endless Evil to its owner's hand. Wow. Very nice. It's basically a Rancor for blue. You put it on one of your creatures and pop out horrors, and then when that creature dies, you put this back in your hand and do it again. I love that. Grell Philosopher, Horror Wizard, 1 blue, 2 colorless, Aberrant Tinkering. When Grell Philosopher enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, each horror you control gains all activated abilities of target artifact and opponent controls until end of turn. You may spend blue mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. Interesting. Very interesting. I like that a lot. He's a horror, and you can enters the battlefield at the beginning of your upkeep. I like that. Each horror even. It's not just him. Wow. Wow. I can't wait to play this deck. Psionic Ritual, 2 blue, 4 colorless. Sorcery, replicate, tap, and untapped horror you control. Exile target insert sorcery card from a graveyard and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Exile Psionic Ritual. I like it. I like that a lot. Very strong. Brain Stealer Dragon. 2 black, 5 colorless. He's a dragon horror. Flying at the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of each opponent's library. You may play those cards for as long as they remained exiled. If you cast a spell this way, you may spell mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. Whenever a non-land permanent an opponent owns enters the battlefield under your control, they lose life equal to its mana value. Wow! Wow! I might have to put an extra one of these in my Anuelo the Painter deck. Wow, I like that. That's strong. Next, we've got From the Catacombs, 2 black, 3 colorless. This guy looks like the old cosmic horror from the Legend set. Sorcery, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control with a corpse counter on it. You take the initiative. If that creature would leave the battlefield, exile instead of putting it anywhere else. Escape, 1 black, 3 colorless, exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. I like it. Put a creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under control. I like this. Yeah, and if I'm going too fast, you guys, obviously, you can, pause the video to read the cards. Uchulan, 1 black, 3 colorless. Creature, Crab Ooze Horror. Uchulan's power is equal to the number of crabs, oozes, and or horrors you control. Wow. Horrific Symbiosis. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target creature card from an opponent's graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Uchulan. Wow. 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 Chasm Skulker, he's awesome. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Chasm Skulker. When Chasm Skulker dies, create X/1/1 squid creature tokens with Island Walk, where X is the number of +1 counters on the Skulker. Okay, he's a horror, so he fits. Next, we've got Forgotten Creation, Zombie Horror, 1 blue, 3 colorless, Skulk. Can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all the cards in your hand if you do draw that many cards. Wow. Man, I'm liking this deck. I cannot wait to play it. 3 blue, Sorcery. Each opponent mills 14 cards. Whew. When you cycle Fractured Sanity, each opponent mills 4 cards. Wow, I'm liking this deck. Grizzleaxe, Illithid Scholar, 2 blue, 1 colorless. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Yep. Man, I'm liking this deck. Hullbreaker Horror, Kraken Horror. 2 blue, 5 colorless, flash. Can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Ooh. I like that. That's like the old Time Elemental, but better. Time Elemental was 2 blue, 1 colorless. Came in Legends for 2 blue and 1 colorless. You could bounce anything back to their owner's hand. This is even better. I like it. I love it. Leyline of Anticipation. Enchantment. If it's in your hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield, so it's a turn 0 play. You may cast spells as though they had flash. I love it. I love it. I see a few cards in here that's probably going to go into my Anuelo the Painter deck. Mind Flayer. 2 blue, 3 colors is a horror. Dominate monster. When Mind Flayer enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature for as long as you control Mind Flayer. Okay. Next is Overcharged Amalgam. 2 blue, 2 colorless, flash and flying. Exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When Amalgam exploits a creature, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Okay. Seems pricey, but seems good. Pull from tomorrow, very good card. Draw X cards, then discard a card, very good. Reflections of Litjara, 1 blue, 4 colorless. Enchantment. As Reflections enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. It's going to be horrors. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. Ooh, 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 I like it. Man, I like this deck. Sludge Monster, 5/5 horror. Whenever he enters battlefield or attacks, put a slime counter on up to 1 other target creature. Non-horror creatures with slime counters on them lose all abilities and have basic power and toughness 2/2. Sludge Monster. You know, I can't remember if Toxeril is a horror. I think it is. I think it's a slug horror. And Toxeril, if that's the case, Toxeril would be good to put in this deck. Toxeril is good to put any deck. Toxeril is a ridiculous card, and in my humble opinion, that would be a card to pick up. Just even the non-foils for $7. That is a very, very strong card. Very, very strong commander. Every time somebody at the table plays that thing, we all just groan because we know we're going to lose all our creatures, and they're going to get all kinds of snails and slugs, and then draw a bunch of cards. Toxeril would be a fantastic card to put into this deck. Wharf Infiltrator, Skulk, 1/1. Whenever the Infiltrator deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. I like it. Whenever you discard a creature card, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi Horror creature token. Love it. I like it. Black Market, fantastic card. 2 black, 3 colorless. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on Black Market. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add black for each charge counter on it. Very, very good. Crippling Fear, 2 black, 2 colorless. Choose a creature type. Creatures that aren't of the chosen type get -3, -2 until end of turn. It is a one-sided board wipe, and we here at the Commander's Crypt love one-sided board wipes. Curtain's Call, 1 black, 5 colorless, Undaunted. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each opponent. Destroy 2 target creatures. I like it. Curtain's Call. Dark Hatchling. When he enters the battlefield, destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. I like it. He's a horror as well. Dross Harvester, 2 black, 1 colorless. Protection from white. At the beginning of your end step, you lose 4 life. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 2 life. Okay. All right. Guilt Feeder. I did not know they were going to reprint this. This is one of my favorite cards. I was going to say that you should put Guilt Feeder in this deck. I like the old Mark Teeden picture better, but 2 black, 3 colorless Fear. Whenever Guilt Feeder attacks and isn't blocked, defending player loses 1 life for each card in their graveyard. It's not damage, it loses 1 life. Fantastic card in this deck. It should also go in your Xander deck. It's so funny, I was the only channel talking about this card, and there it is. Hex, 2 black, 4 colors, destroy 6 target creatures. This is such an amazing card. I love this card. One-sided board wipe. That's what we really love here at the Commander's Crypt. Hunted Horror. Trample. When Hunted Horror enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2 3/3 green centaur creature tokens with protection from black. And he's a 7/7 trampler. This is an oldie but a goodie from the Ravnica block. They did the Hunted Dragon, 2 red, 3 colorless. And target opponent got to create, 3 2/2 white knight creature tokens with first strike. Those hunted cards are blue had 1, white had 1. I can't remember what they were. But in Commander, these cards might be stronger because you can give somebody else the centaurs and then attack somebody else. But it's a 7/7 for 2, and the 2 centaurs only do 6 damage. You might still be able to kill their centaurs and just roll right over. Very good card. Ingoruk's Wake. This is definitely going into my painter deck. 2 black, 7 colorless. Destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. I love it. I like this deck. Night Howler. He's a horror. 2 black, 1 colorless. Bestow. If you cast this card for its bestow cost, it's an aura spell with enchant creature. It becomes a creature. Again, if it's not attached to a creature, Night Howler and enchanted creature each get X plus X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Holy Nikes. Loving it. Enchantment creature. Man, I like this deck. Neolith. 2 black, 4 colorless. Creature horror. Fear. We all know what fear is. Suspend 7. Rather than cast this card from hand, you may pay 1 black and 1 colorless. Whenever a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if Neolith is suspended, you may remove a time counter from it. Okay, 4/4. All right. Maybe the actually worst creature we've seen so far. Sewer Nemesis. He's a horror. 1 black, 3 colorless. As Sewer Nemesis enters the battlefield, choose a player. Sewer Nemesis's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in the chosen player's graveyard. Whenever the chosen player casts a spell, that player mills a card. I like it. I like it. The synergy is very nice. Okay, Woe Strider, and he's in here because he's a horror. Okay. He's a 3/2 for 1 black, 2 colorless. When there's a battlefield, you make a goat creature, sacrifice a creature, scry 1, and then you could have him escape. Consuming Aberration. 1 black, 1 blue, 3 colorless. Consuming Aberration's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. Whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, then puts those cards into their graveyard. Holy shnikes. Man, I am liking this. I am liking this deck. I might have to put an old Cosmic Horror in here, the 7/7 from Legends, just for some old-timey flavor. Memory Plunder. He's black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, blue hybrid. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard without paying its mana cost. Holy man, I am liking this deck. Nemesis of Reason. 1 black, 1 blue, 3 colorless, 3/7. When Nemesis of Reason attacks, defending player mills 10 cards. Oof. Phyrexian Revoker, 2/1, artifact creature, Phyrexian Horror. As the Revoker enters battlefield, choose a non-land card name. Activate abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated. Very, very strong card. Wow. I think that shuts commanders down. Wow, very strong. Very strong. I'm used to seeing that in Type 1 workshop decks. Psychosis Crawler, 5 colorless. Psychosis Crawler's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, that could be strong with the effects that you have in your deck that give you no maximum hand size. Okay. Okay. And then you get to ping everybody. Spellskite, very strong card. Very fantastic card. 2 colorless. I'm very happy with this deck. Change the target of target spell or ability to Spellskite. Basically, for 1 Phyrexian mana, you can change the target of something. And it doesn't have to be your commander or even one of your permanents. If somebody's going to do something that you don't like, you can change the target. Very, very, very awesome. I am absolutely loving this deck. And I think that's probably it. I really, really like this deck. I can't wait to play it. So, like I said, every day we're going to be doing a precon, and then we're going to do a gameplay video, and we're going to play these decks. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. I like playing the decks right out the box because everybody's on an even playing field, and it's just fun. I like it. So yeah, so the rest of the lands were, you know, this is a good one, Creeping Tar Pit. It becomes a blue-black elemental creature that can't be blocked. That's very good. I'm just going to show the utility lands in here. Drownyard Temple is very good. So if you have to, there were effects in this deck that wanted you to discard a card. You could just discard this and then put it back out later. I'm just going to show you all of the utility lands that are in here. Nephalia, Drownyard. Target player mills 3 cards, 1 black, 1 blue, 1 colorless. Very, very good in this deck. Got a Rogue's Passage in there. Temple of the False Guard. That card sucks. So that's it. That's all the utility lands. So that's it. We're going to get on out of here. I hope you liked this video. I love making them. So yeah. So we're going to get on out of here. If you would, if you've stuck with us this far, please like and subscribe. We're a very fast-growing channel. I love Commander. I love talking about it. I love doing it. I love playing it. I love meeting the people. I like just going into game rooms and just making new friends and saying, hey, would you like to play a couple of hands and, you know, a couple of games of Commander? And people are always willing to do it. So here at the Commander's Crypt, we're not here just to have a Commander channel. We're here to have to make a community. So you'll see we got a lot of exciting things planned in the future. So that's it. No more PSAs. We're going to get on out of here. Oh, yeah, I do have one more PSA. If you're a cosplayer, please send me your images. We're going to add them to the channel. And that's it. That's Commander's Crypt from New Orleans signing off. See you tomorrow.